Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, July 2025. Gemini, the biggest news for you is that Uranus is entering your sign. And there was just some banging that started when I said that. Your life is going to shift. It's going to become so different than before. Uranus has not been in your sign since the Second World War. So maybe very few of you remember it if they ever lived it for 80 years or something. So it's a rare. It's anyone who is born with Gemini Sun, Moon, or Rising, they chose in this lifetime to experience the Uranus transit over their Sun or Moon or Ascendant. Not everyone gets to feel that unless they live 89, 84 years. And this is total renewal. Uranus is the planet of waking up, like those people banging now. If you hear it, that's like if you're asleep, there is no more sleeping. Your nervous system will go on the edge, but it's also, I can give you an example. I'm Aries. I have 4 planets in Aries. When Uranus transited there, my whole life turned upside down for the better. Uranus removes everything out. It felt at the beginning like the Tower card in tarot. That's everything is crashing. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me because that's when I met my husband, relocated to a new continent, got pregnant, got married. I got divorced and got married all within the same year of Uranus over my son. So I don't know exactly when it's going to happen for you that Uranus will transit your sun or moon or ascendant. Usually the whole transit is about 1 year of the influence, but Uranus will be in your sign for 8 years. If you want to find out, I've done a special webinar of Uranus in Gemini that I show you exactly which year Uranus will be on your sun, which degree your sun is, how to see which degree your sun is, and when exactly it's going to pass, and what exactly it will mean, or your moon or ascendant, or maybe you have uh, in Virgo, Mars or Saturn, Uranus will square it. What does it mean for you? Maybe you have in Sagittarius, your Jupiter, Uranus will oppose it. What does it mean for you? Maybe you have in Aries a planet, say Venus, and Uranus will sextile it. How, and I give it a lot of stories and real life examples how it played out for you. But Uranus in your sign is a wake up call. It will free you, it will liberate you from unwanted uh, situations, and it will happen overnight. At the year when Uranus is transiting up your one of planet, you might have more than one planet in Gemini. When it's transiting either your sun, moon, or ascendant there, it will be like you wake up a new person. For me, it was I was freed overnight from a situation that I had that I was stuck in for so many years, for 9 years before that, that it was a nightmare for me. It was like literally, oh, one day Uranus on my sun, bam, free. And Uranus helps you cut like cords, karmic cords. If with the past, with the behaviors of yours, with even addictions and habits, with unhealthy situations, and you awaken. It's like your eyes suddenly open. The world is so much bigger. Why was I stuck looking at this thing and thinking that's the only way things can be and why it's not working out? And suddenly you see for a totally different perspective that things are possible. It's literally like awakening. It's literally like awakening from a dream. And you're like, how could I have been so asleep or so stuck there? You're seeing it from a way high perspective. Uranus in esoteric astrology is the high vibration of Mercury. Also, we call it divine wisdom. So suddenly you know. So maybe you studied something, you've known it. There are a lot of wise things that we read and we understand it here, but we don't understand it deep in the body. When Uranus transits over there, somewhere in your horoscope, wherever you have sun, moon, or ascendant, everything changes and you realize it on a deep level and you embody it. So a new role in life will come for you over the next 8 years. For me, the new role was when Uranus went into Aries, I became astrologer. The moment it went into my sun exactly, I became a mother and a wife. And Uranus can sometimes bring shakeups if it's making some hard aspects. It can be like, like for me, first it was my marriage suddenly broke up, like overnight. And then within a month, I meet the love of my life, and within a month, I'm pregnant, and and 5 months later, I'm divorced and married again. So it's sometimes they can be shakeups that shock you, that surprise you, that are out of the blue for you, but they are very necessary. It's like divine wisdom is working in your life. Your intuition will increase. You'd know things. You'd, you just download them suddenly. Plus, Uranus, a lot of Uranian things will come into your life. And Uranus for you rules the ninth house as a Gemini, which means that your point of view, because ninth house is your beliefs, will shift so much. And Uranus is a lucky house, lucky planet for you, because Uranus rules the luckiest ninth house. This is the house of seeing from a higher perspective, connection to God, connection to your higher vision and ideals. Your ideals will become loftier. It's about learning something new, studying something, or even spending time abroad, or even traveling, or teaching, because ninth house is teaching, or learning, or traveling, or being abroad. This can be some of the part of the new roles you have to play, a foreign relocation even, or some kind of a new inspiration to learn something that gives meaning and excitement to your life. Uranus is an energy of awakening sexuality as well. Is the energy of out. It's like Uranus awakens the hormones in people, in teenagers, for example. It's like the ball of hormones around that time. And then Uranus is like midlife crisis. It's again the Uranus opposition. It's a very Uranian time. I'm not saying that you're having it, but if you have your Uranus in Sagittarius, you might also have the Uranus opposition Uranus, which is again awakens the hormones, and people fall in love suddenly, or have, because the hormones are not just for sexual thing, but to change your life. The hormones excite you, like the Kundalini rising is Uranus. The Kundalini, new life force to discover new sides of you, to that you never knew existed, that you never knew you were capable of. It will be a journey of self-discovery. It will be so exciting, guys. And I think Gemini are much more comfortable with Uranus than Taurus was, where Uranus was till now. Because Taurus wants to preserve things, wants to keep the status quo. And Gemini is the opposite. Gemini is out with the old, in with the new. It's very adaptable sign. So I think you'd have a blast. Again, that someone is bang, bang, bang. Even if you want to take it easy and rest, it's not gonna happen. But it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a journey. And it doesn't matter if you're 70 years old. Again, something new would awaken your excitement about life, about new opportunities. And a lot of Uranian things can come into your life. Maybe you can become very capable with AI, very capable with new technologies, very capable with online, digital, social media. Uranus is all of those things, or esoteric knowledge. Uranus rules astrology, rules human design, rules any esoteric knowledge, any systems of knowledge. Or you might become interested to be an electro engineer technician, because that's again electricity, Uranus, science. You might become interested in science, um, and the spiritual level. Uranus is wisdom and ingenuity and downloading new ideas. So get ready to wake up from slumber. Maybe only the very early born Geminis will now feel Uranus immediately. The first 2-3 degrees from July, this everything is changing. But all Uranus, all Gemini, the moment Uranus moves into a sign, like just for me, I started doing astrology the moment Uranus moved into my sun sign, even though the sun was 7 degrees later, or 5 degrees, sorry, 5 years later, the exact sun Uranus. But the moment it entered, I started doing Uranian thing. So it's very important to see also, is it your first house that your sun in Gemini is, or your moon, which house it is. That's where the webinar explained how to see it. You don't need to know astrology, as I said. But let's come back just to the influences of this month, because I threw you out 8 years ahead for the next 8 years. Just this month, Venus is in Gemini, the home month. So it's going to smooth things out for you, actually. You're going to feel more attractive. You're gonna enough. I stopped talking about Uranus. Stop banging. They're building something next to me. Uranus, Venus in your sign, more gentle, more attractive. Even love can come more easily to you. More loving experiences. If you're already married or in a relationship, it can smooth out or have pleasant experience. So even if you're single and you're not looking for anyone, it's just more Venusian experiences of indulgence, pleasure, good food, good clothes. Just you feeling more attractive by the end of the month as well, or attracting people that towards you like a magnet. You become like honey. Venus gives you some of its honey, some of its magnetism, some of its gentleness. If you like people to, if you want to be appreciated, seen, noticed in some way, in a good way, with good response, now is the time to do it this July, because Venus is in your sign. At the same time, from the 18th of July, Mercury is going retrograde. And, the whole spiel. Mercury goes retrograde 3 times per year. So nothing new under the sun, but you're ruled by Mercury. And there is some kind of reorientation around that time, a point of view. That's why Gemini changes its mind so much. They say it has so many faces because Mercury, the planet that rules it, keeps going back and forth 3 to 4 times per year. So while say someone who is a Capricorn, the planet goes retrograde just once per year. So they would very much more rarely change their mind and track. While a Gemini, now Mercury going retrograde, but we see things from a different perspective again. And that can make you rethink some things in life, change some things. It's okay, you flow with change. It's going retrograde in your third house, which is making good aspects to Gemini. So it's not stressful unless you have planets, say, in Aquarius, in Scorpio, in Taurus. It's going to square or oppose them, or in Leo. So it can be more stressful. But Mercury retrogrades are not stressful for big things. It's more like everyday mundane things. Say errands, you have some plan, especially it being retrograde in your third house. You have a plan for July and part of August. But the plans, you have to change them. Something comes up. You have meetings, people cancel. You have planned to do an interview, like oftentimes happens, no one appears, or something malfunctions on the phones, on the laptops, on communication devices. Maybe you have to repair your phone. Just be careful that you don't lose it basically around that time. But I don't think Mercury is doing any difficult aspects from there this time. It's not actually. It's not square, it's only making sextiles to Venus, to Uranus, maybe a bit to Neptune and Saturn. Yeah, no bad aspect. So I don't think it will be so stressful, but definitely some people from the past can come back to reconnect. Friends you haven't seen, siblings, relatives, third house to reconnect, teammates, schoolmates you haven't seen. Reconnection, maybe talking about some things from the past, or maybe completing some project that is media, mental work, administrative work, some documents or papers that you have to redo or uh, send further, that maybe you applied for something and they tell, well, we need extra documents, send over. Or maybe you need to correct something on papers and so on. But sometimes business meeting negotiations get stalled during that time, or they need further attention to detail to be reworked a bit. And then by the time Mercury turns direct in August, sometimes things are, again, you've worked through those issues and you've made them better, and the final result can be much better. Or you might be traveling back to a place you've been before. Third house is travels, maybe a favorite holiday destination, I don't know, that you go back to. But yeah, sometimes there can be the need to repair cars, transportation, such kind of stuff, or maybe your bus that you regularly take doesn't work for a few days or weeks, and that's kind of frustrating. So you need to find different routes. But that's again to awaken us from the automatic way we do things. And third house is anything written, spoken, documents, papers you might have to correct, rewrite passwords, that you might have to change. Hopefully, you're not going to get locked out of those. But it's something that tends to happen, more often than any other planet. Mercury goes retrograde. And you're going to have also Mars in your fourth house. And Mars, the whole month is in your fourth house here. So wherever Mars goes, we're more active there. And you might be more active with family or maybe building something around the house, doing DIY or working in the garden. That's the best way it can play out. Say you have some family activity or project, or you're doing some rearranging or moving furniture or moving to a different place. That's the physical way you can use Mars. The not so physical ways is it can come out through, criticism, because it's in Virgo, with the family members, and especially things from the past that weren't said, because Mars is with the South Node, something from the past that hasn't been worked on emotionally, that you've been suppressing. Maybe something is bugging you about a family member or about your parents or about, any family or people. Emotionally, you feel triggered about something that you haven't said before, and it gets spoken out and addressed now. But it's completing like a karmic cycle of unexpressed and suppressed anger in some situation that needs to be expressed. So they can be like a little bit of a volcano situation where things escalate, especially in personal matters, in your personal life. This is the fourth house with loved ones and so on. And sometimes even on the material level, it can be something breaks in the home, or you kind of like hit the door and hit your leg at home, or you have a blowout, or, because this is, don't think again, oh, this is bad, like bad energy. It's actually the suppressed anger, Mars in the fourth house, even a suppressed anger, even from childhood and from parental programming and ancestral programming, that needs to come out and be expressed and be excreted. The South Node is the anus of the snake. So you need to better out than in, as they say. So you need to excrete it. Sometimes even some physical conditions can appear, like acute and stuff, till you release this suppressed anger, and know that it's a healing process, because Mars is conjunct the South Node. And of course, don't start new. You can bury the hatchet after escalation, but don't start new fights and arguments. I mean, you might have to. It's it's just that you feel emotionally more triggered because of this Mars there. But the good news is that Venus, the whole month, is in your sign. So you have this honey in you, this sweetness that you can overcome any situation there, that you can gain people on your side, that you can keep more cool and zen through that. So you can catch more fish, more flies with honey this month than with, what was it? More flies with honey than, this Mars here. So bury the hatchets. And yeah, so, or just use it to do something around the home and the house. And yeah, so this is about it, guys. The biggest thing was Uranus in your sign, big events happening, but also the full moon, the new moon in your third house. As I said, you might be finishing some old projects with Mercury there, whether it's administrative business, tying a few ends. But at the same time, something new can appear, like new acquaintances after the full moon, after the 24th, new social connections coming to you, new business projects, new media projects if you're a writer or speaker in any sort, new skills, the desire to learn some new skills as well. So there is a mixed bag of things from the past in this third house that we talked about, Mercury retrograde, that you need to fix, correct, improve, or release and let go. Or put a closure to, and also new things coming there. And as I said, third house is very social house. It's also a lot connected to business, mental work, skills, communications. All right. So thank you so much. And if you want, if anyone would really benefit from Uranus in Gemini webinar that I've done, I think that will be you. It's 5 hours long, 100 pages of material as well that you can always use, and that can get you excited for this transit. Thank you.